He's an under-19 World Cup winning captain. He has a century on his test debut. Prithvi Shaw was meant for much bigger things in the world of cricket, but things haven't really gone his way over the last couple of years. In fact, in about a couple of years' time, he's barely played international cricket. He's not been able to put on that Indian jersey for quite some time. In fact, in the IPL as well, the franchise that has been backing him for a couple of years now, the Delhi Capitals, also ran out of patience with him in this season. And in fact, after giving him a start and backing him for good 5 to 7 games wherein he didn't score enough runs, Prithvi Shaw was dropped. And finally now Prithvi Shaw, even after he scored a half century just about a couple of days back when he was playing in the domestic circuit, Prithvi Shaw has now spoken about a couple of issues and couple of subjects which matter to him a lot, which is of course his cricket, but also about how he's been feeling of late, given that for somebody with the prodigious amount of talent who was touted as the next big thing, a prodigy once he was called, for things to have fallen flat for him over the last couple of years. It's been quite tragic in the manner in which things have sort of halted for Prithvi Shaw. He's touched upon a couple of these aspects, plus of course where he sees himself as a cricketer, and that is what we're here to tell you about. But most importantly, he talks about the equation that he's either had or has, let's say, in the dressing room. Yes, he's not in the Indian dressing room at the moment, but let's not forget that he has about 10 to 12 international games under his belt. You do expect him to form some sort of an equation with a few players here and there, because a couple of the players he used to play with back then in his under 19 days do happen to be in the Indian setup at the moment. But Prithvi Shaw has rather made a revolution of sort, which is startling in some way or the other. Let's just quickly tell you about how Prithvi Shaw has felt after he was given after he was shown the door from the Indian team, and how exactly he is feeling at the moment. Prithvi Shaw, when asked about the kind of friendships that he has in the dressing room, he said that I don't have friends. I feel I don't like to make friends anymore. This is what's happening with me in this generation. In fact, he says you can't share your thoughts with anyone else. So he feels he's become that person now who can't really share his feelings anymore, and it is more of a personal thing, in the sense what he's experiencing, he keeps it just to himself. He also adds, he says that I've got very less friends, only a couple of friends, and even with them I do not share everything, and only a few details is what I'm able to share, because things get said in the back. There are things that get twisted around, he says. So he says that he can't have a control over the narrative that gets formed about him, about his conduct. There's so much that's been said about his misdemeanor in public places at times, and he says that I find it hard to trust people. I don't have a lot of friends alongside me, and let's now talk about it. He says that he is now feeling alone, so much so that he now goes for lunches and dinners all by himself. He even in fact said that he went to see a movie just about a couple of days back, a movie that did scare him a bit though, but he was all alone in the theater as well. He enjoyed that time though, but he says that I have learned to live all by myself, and he is okay being alone at the moment. Doesn't really have a lot of friends, and friends, even if he does have a few of them, he says that I don't have the comfort level to be able to share everything. Now that tells you a thing or two, because this comes very close to the heels of what a certain Ravichandran Ashwin, remember, had also said about the Indian dressing room. He said that there are colleagues now and not friends anymore. Now it comes, with that being said in the backdrop, Prithvi Shaw also feels there haven't been a lot of friends that he has found that he can confide in, so much so that he has started to feel lonely. He also goes ahead and says that everyone talks to each other, so it's not that people don't communicate, but he says as far as opening up with players is concerned, he says that is something that happens hardly. At least he says I've never opened up to anyone. Yes, all the masti mazak, which is all fun and games, he says all of that does happen, but personal space used to be personal, and that's something that hasn't changed. So not a lot has changed, let's say, in the dressing room, he feels, and this is in alignment in many ways of what Ravichandran Ashwin had also suggested a couple of weeks back. You guys can make your thoughts about it, and you can have your views. Let me know in the comment section what you have to feel, if this is, let's say, an ideal dressing room situation, or let's say if it's completely fine as well. If you think that it's fine, let's say even in the corporate world, even in jobs that you and I do, we don't necessarily always have friends. Now it is good to be good colleagues, let's say, and you can have colleagues, but why can't the same logic, let's say, apply to cricketing teams or sporting teams as well? Is it necessary really for one to be really close friends even at work, or is it just fine to maintain a professional relationship? As it appears, let's say from the words of Prithvi Shaw and what Ravichandran Ashwin suggests, it does appear that things have become a little more professional in the Indian circuit at the moment. But you let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But a couple of revealing thoughts, revealing details being shared there by Prithvi Shaw, somebody who's not really in the pink of his form at the moment. He's not, got a lot of runs to boast of at the moment. He's still trying to resurrect his cricketing career. He was picked for the Deodhar Trophy, but he's not going to be taking part in the Deodhar Trophy. Instead, he will be playing the county cricket. So that's as far as his future plans are concerned. But for what I just said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be waiting to read your comments.